Okay, I'm recording. Welcome, everyone. This is a Berta blab, sans blab, because poor old blab died. So now I'm still just running Berta blabs on Zoom because I do love a blab. I love having a chat. And today I'm going to chat with Leah Kearns and Stephanie Pritchard. Is that right?
Yes.
Great. Just checking. I was running on memory then. And Nicole Moore is supposedly going to join us, unless I've sent her to the wrong room. Maybe I better just send her another invite, naughty me. So if you haven't seen, oh, here she is now. That's great. I just said, hey, Nicole. Actually, her audio is not on. I've just started, so I'm just about to introduce everybody. Hello. So I've got, and also this is Nicole Moore. So if someone's just not realised that Nicole's just jumped on with us as well. I'm going to start with Leah. Oh, you've got a unicorn with you, Leah. Aren't you clever? So Leah Kearns is a woman who has who loves intuition and helps people figure out their business from an intuitive place rather than like a fully cerebral place. But I feel like it's not just like only intuition with you. It's really about a whole person experience. So, and I really don't know what your job title would be if I had to explain. I guess you're like a business strategist, but you're also like a mentor and coachy sort of thing. So here's with your proper job title, Leah.
So it's intuitive business mentor, but sometimes I drop the business element.
Oh, yeah.
It just depends on which door people are coming through.
Yeah.
So sometimes they just come through a life door and a business door. So really I'm open to accepting whichever way that they want to come through, because for me it all ends up in the same place, which is they're looking for some kind of framework or some kind of way to experience their life from that will allow them to have a bit more creativity, flow and ease in their life. And so that's really the place that I work with them from.
Oh, I just felt so calm and expanded just thinking about life being like that. That sounds really good. And so are you doing one-on-one sessions with people? If I was to have a session with you, what would that be like?
Yeah, so I guess as the sole startup entrepreneur, really for me, it's about you experiencing your life like a startup, right? So to me, you think about the unicorn, and yeah, it might be a mythical creature, but the idea is that the unicorn doesn't really care, right? It just gets out there, prances around, looks all pretty and sparkly and shimmies its mane, and that's kind of what it gets on with doing, right? And I sort of take that same philosophy in you're your own life leader. So as a one-to-one session, it's really about understanding for you whereabouts in your life that you're feeling maybe a little bit blocked or challenged or disconnected, or also the flip side of that is maybe you're feeling like you're ready to go and there's nothing stopping you, but you're not sure which direction to take or what sort of thing to head off and do. So I work with clients in both ways in that regard, and through a myriad of self options too. So there's a whole bunch of tools like webinars or recordings or masterclasses that they can experience in their own time as well. Because I find it's really important for people to be able to process and really feel into the materials in time that suits them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love a little homework. Cool. Well, we might come back to you for your offer for this this blab, so we have more time for a chat, because I have a good feeling that we're going to have an awesome thread to run between everybody today. So Stephanie Pritchard, I know you a little bit through my marketing mastery group, so it's been really nice to see you then. It's great to meet you today. Actually, I've never met you before, so I was a bit like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm sure it's going to be fine. It's all going to be great. No, I don't know. I was just, when you're going to meet a new person and you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, which is kind of exciting, but I was a bit
nervous. You're a bit nervous.
Which is crazy. But I know a little bit from seeing posts in the group that you've started life coaching. Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm a psychic medium and spiritual coach. So, I want to merge both of those things together, which therefore I've decided I'm a spiritual coach. It was around 2014 I discovered my gifts, and it's basically accelerated quite a lot from then. But going back on reflection from around 14, I've had these abilities. So, that's the idea. But as you know, I'm just starting up. So I'm offering one-to-one sessions, which include spiritual coaching as well as just reading as well.
Cool. So your background's more in readings, and now you're merging it with coaching.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So
my background before then is quite interesting. I was a biological scientist. I've done a PhD. Yeah. So it's quite kind of having a brain snap there in the middle, going from a very logical space to now a lot more creative space. And I'm quite happy with that.
Oh, nice. But I find sometimes, like, I've talked to people and myself in my own meditation practice, I feel like science and spirituality aren't necessarily that different. Like they see, like, on the surface, they kind of seem like they should be, because science can be like, you have to have evidence. But I feel like with my meditation practice that's happened as well. Like, it's made me really look at a lot of mental shoulds or paradigms that I've been holding on to, and really looking at them like, is that real? Like, doing little experiments on them on myself. And I know that's what Leah does as well with the startup mindset.
I'm all into the quantum physics and, how it's all linked energetically, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they're so different. I reckon there's a good thread there for you. And so what do sessions with you look like now with the merging of those two?
All my sessions are on Skype, and so I just help women in particular with getting back to themselves, if you like, or improving the relationships with themselves. That's what it's all around. So
yeah, I had this Instagram post the other day that my friend made, which said, the whole journey of life is basically learning to love yourself to the point where you can love everyone in every moment. I was like, dude, that's such a high state. Like, it's a good goal. And it is. And really that self-love stuff is such an important basis to leap into life from. Like, without that, everything feels a bit hard. Cool. And Nicole Moore. Nicole, I thought when I first met you, you were doing like doulaing, but you do this other thing as well. You do like you better explain it. What's your job title, Nicole?
Yeah. Well, I don't really have a job title, to be honest. I'm a birth into being facilitator, and I'm kind of we did have some funky names at some point. There was like company names amongst our organisation, which is basically a group of people who are deeply committed to conscious evolution and through a multi-pronged approach, but basically utilising the birth into being processes, which were the brainchild of a Russian visionary that had gone ballistically viral over the internet since 2006, and has been a total game changer. And one of the reasons why is because it had this radical footage of births in the Black Sea with dolphins, and it also had this radical footage of a woman having rolling orgasms as she gave birth. And so, of course, the world got fascinated by that, and that footage has now appeared in many other films due to Elena's generosity, but she was the first one to share that message of the absolute joy that can be experienced in childbirth, with or without the orgasms. And through that path of pleasurable birth, we could cultivate a consciousness and cultivate conscious evolution for our babies coming in, but also ourselves. So not just empowering women to have those amazing births that give that shift in consciousness that we are needing, but also ourselves who have already been born and who, it might not have been blissful. So these processes basically give us the opportunity to go back to our birth imprints. And so it's multi-pronged, because we're with pregnant women, going, okay, let us use these processes to help have a magnificent birth and bring your darling in, in a optimal way for human thriving, and particularly the capacity for love is what I'm wanting to cultivate, which is also emerging of science and spirituality, because as well as striving with our existing kind of imprints, we can also recreate our own and create imprints for the incoming generations that allow us to experience love through kind of switching on those centers in our brain, and really actively and consciously cultivating the imprints that are required for us to feel safe and welcome and able to connect with each other and our planet. And I'm just trying to get my message out there that it is actually possible to, kind of step up our evolution, because, we desperately need to.
Yeah. So that's so cool that we have such a juicy thread today. They're all my favorite things. Yeah. So if I was going to work with you, what would we do now? I mean, I know you said you've got the multi-prong. So if I'm a person who's not pregnant now, what kind of work would we do? I've seen the photo of you with people in the pool, which looks lovely. I love the pool.
Yep. So we would. Yeah, divine. I just did that again. Workshop technique, and techniques, exercises and things online, in person, private groups, and I'm also doing an online course. And I've recently started incorporating the pool whenever I work in Byron, because it's just so lush, and it's the absolutely perfect complement to this kind of deep nervous system imprint work. Then submersing yourself in water and deeply relaxing whilst we're continuing kind of work, gentle body work, but using the concepts that we've worked with in the morning session. It just creates a really incredible experience for your cellular self to take in.
I want to do like a retreat with you three guys and just be like, you could just do your thing to me. That would be just heaven. My gosh. So I feel like the thread is love and the union between the two sides, like if you want to call it masculine and feminine, or science and spirituality, or however they arise for people. It's such a common thing. And I guess I a little while ago fell into a thing of not really liking there's Shiva Shakti, there's so many different ones, of not liking the description or not really feeling it in my process as male and female energy. I mean, Leah, how do you articulate those different energies? Do you have a good vocabulary for the sort of different polarities of those?
So I actually teach them as soul and strategy. And so from a business perspective and a life perspective. And the idea is that you come to a place of creating harmony between the two instead of seeing them as polarities. Right? You shift from polarities to dualities. And in a duality, you can work between one to the other in a harmony. And you can do the dance between the two. And Dominique Oyston, voice coach, she actually reminded me of a Lao Tzu quote, which was, you can be in yin and you can take action into yang, right? So you can step into yang from yin. But if you're in yang, it's very, very difficult for you to step back into yin. So it's a very conscious process in that dance weaving between the masculine and the feminine to actually be in a place. Yin allows you, in the feminine energy, allows you to have observation. And then you can choose when to take the action and when to be in the masculine. Whereas if you're in the masculine all the time, you're in doing all the time. Doing, action taking, da-da-da-da-da. And that dance becomes very tiring and it becomes very exhausting because you're constantly in a doing state. So coming back into the feminine energy, which is far more about contemplation and reflection. And in particular, I think that I pulled a card as a focus before I jumped on the call today. And it was interesting because this is the card. It's reflection, right? And it's really being able to stand and bear witness and to observe what's happening is the feminine energy. So that's the creation energy. It's the intent, right? It's the understanding of the observation and just observing, knowing that something's happening. And then you can take action. You can step into the masculine energy, which is to manifest, to pull something from formless into form. So all of a sudden you're doing this dance and you're weaving between the harmony of the two. And that's actually the co-creation dance. And that's how I experience it and teach it, for sure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, because I got in that real, like, stuck in the yang for a few months, which was great. I got heaps done, but it's not terribly sustainable. And it's been really nice to come back to just being seated in more of my nurturing and mothering role and doing artwork and taking time to exercise and eating well, like that, like Steph, I mean, I think that's true, isn't it, Stephanie? All those things are what it takes to really look after yourself so that you can do.
You've got to have the balance. I guess that's what I call it, the balance between action or the doing and the being, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And that self-care is so important. What other tools would you recommend, Stephanie, for someone who's really sort of stuck in too much doing and needs a bit more self-love? Maybe, if you've got a top tip.
Yeah, I mean, just what we're saying, find some space to go and exercise or whatever else they want to do that cultivates some self-love for them. I think it's a personal thing for everybody. So.
Yeah, true. So it is better to tap into, like, things that you personally enjoy and don't make another have to for yourself of like, oh, you have to exercise or you have to do painting. Is to take some time to reflect.
Just because I like painting doesn't mean you do. You might like sewing, so go and sew.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And then I guess, Nicole, do you find this comes up in your work, the polarity aspect of the process?
Yeah, so one of the ways that we work with an inner conflict, I mean, what you're describing is more like two different energies at play, but sometimes you get, along with that, you get this, dialogue that sort of pulls you one way and the other between, what you are doing and what you should be doing and And so the way that we work with that is to do a tri-brain process where each part of the brain, sort of personified by the inner elder, inner child, and the limbic system, get to kind of exercise themselves, and depending on which one is needing to kind of step up, is where you sort of position the play. So it's like an enactment play, and you can use it in lots of different ways to give the part of you, the aspect of you that's needing that opportunity to step up, to give them like a little practice run. And then, like, totally, milk that experience to take it into the body and really, and it's amazing anyway how when people come to this kind of work with intention, they're really ready, and they don't need a lot of encouragement to see it as a profound exercise, and therefore it becomes one.
Beautiful. And I guess the other thing that came up in our thread was love. I mean, I'd be interested, Leah, to hear your take on love in the business context, or or the life context.
Yeah, sure. So recently, probably in the last maybe 3 months, for myself in my own daily practice, which is my life, right? So I don't treat my practice and my spirituality as separate. My life is my practice. So I don't find that for me, I need to sit on a hill and meditate for 3 days straight. It's in my life and in my doing that I am actually being. So it's more like a movement meditation, I guess, in life. And I suppose what's come about for me in the last 3 months in particular is that it's moving not just from love as an emotion, as a feeling, but moving into holding a container that is unconditional love. And it's actually, for me to experience it, there's a shift that happens. And I guess in a spiritual process, it's moving from the heart chakra to the higher heart chakra, which is the Christ consciousness, right? So it's the thymus gland, right? So in the opening up the space between the two, there's a bridge that happens. And that from that bridge, it allows you to hold a perspective, and it's almost like being at a lookout. So you can be in a space and hold a space of far more unconditional love. So love without judgment, love with full acceptance. And from that space, when you can hold yourself in that space, that to me is when you can really experience the full potential and highest potential of what not only yourself you have to offer, but with anybody that comes into contact with you, right? So no longer do you look at it as being, well, that's an argument and that's that person's opinion and that's their judgment. It is, that's the reflection of me in this very moment. Where in this conversation do I not 100% agree and hold myself in the highest esteem? If I'm feeling as though there's a judgment from them, where in me am I actually having that own conflict happen within myself? So really moving not so much just love, but from a space of love into more of a space of unconditional love. And the experience I've had in making that shift and coming into that place has really changed. It's shifted my perspective. So just from being a singular perspective to a more multidimensional perspective, it allows me to stand in a place of being open to hear what else might be a possibility for me. So although I sit here today and I say that this is my opinion and this is my experience, tomorrow when we talk, in the meantime, I might have spoken to 3 other people, and being in that state of openness now, I've shifted my perspective. So it's then opening myself up to continually be able to grow and continually not just accept the truth of my reality right now as the ultimate truth, but rather be in a space of, well, how else can this shift? How else can this change? And then what does that do to my experience in life? So yeah, really coming from a place of unconditional love.
Yeah, that sounds so similar to how I end up running my life, which can drive people around me a bit bonkers. But I don't really know how else to do it, because if I find out something's bodgy, I'm not going to hold to it just because it was like, because I said to someone that's what I thought. I'm not going to stick with something when I've had a massive revelatory experience that's totally shifted my perspective on life. So yeah, it's a bit tricky sometimes being a human, and the way that other people want us to be confined so that they can know, so they can have certainty of how to approach us in the moment. It's a tough gig. What do you think, Stephanie, about love? Have you got some love insight for us?
Love insight. Well, I agree with everything that Leah said. And you. I don't know, there's so many different perspectives of love, isn't there? Like,
Yeah.
you're talking about unconditional love, you've got self-love, and you've got, I don't know, I was reading, you got love of strawberries, and you love your exercise. There's all sorts of different parts of love, I guess. And I think it's all good. I don't know what to say.
That's all right. I was just thinking as well, like when I was younger, I have a 14-year-old daughter who, then you're that age and you're trying to understand what the word love means, and your parents tell you that they love you, and then there's all this weird pressure at that age to kind of decide who loves you or not. I mean, she would kill me hopefully she will never listen to this, but there's this guy at her school who's her best friend, but he's obviously completely in love with her, but is not stupid enough to tell her to compromise the friendship. And I know that he's completely in love with her and she's completely in love with him, but when you're at school, there's so many weird little constructs about how you're allowed to express yourself to somebody else, and understanding what love even means. What does the word even mean? Like you said, there's love for strawberries, there's love for exercise, there's love for yourself. It's quite a complex little doozy, love. Yeah. Nicole, I'm just going to unmute you because you're something was scruffily before. But I'm guessing that love's a huge feature in, and you know, embracing the way you came in.
That was mine.
And changing the world, yeah. I think we must have a little internet issue. Are you back?
Yeah, I missed you for a second there. All I heard was something about it might have a lot to do with love.
Yes, I reckon in your work you'd be talking about love a whole lot. Oh, the internet. Oh, the birds. I can hear the birds all right.
Is it bad?
It's just a bit quiet.
Oops. Okay. I'm putting my phone right where it can get the best reception.
Oh, I'm
How's
with
that?
you. Yeah, I've got you back
Is that
now.
better?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so we do talk about love a lot and the origins of love and what a blessing it is to be born into a situation where you experience love straight away. Even in your gestational period, and that sets an imprint for your relationship to love as you progress through life. But we also operate from the premise that it's never too late. So if people are accessing having a struggle to access love in their life in whatever way, sometimes it's romantic love or love for their children, love for themselves, those, all the different ways that you can experience inhibitions around love. We operate from the premise that it's never too late. And of course it can be a real struggle for some people to open to that, but by the time they've made their way into a workshop with me, they're usually ready. So there's not that much more resistance. And it's a beautiful space to be in. I've worked with such a wide cross section of people in that way too, like sometimes elderly people where it's the last phase of their life, but they're having all these openings and somehow or other they've come across this work and they're ready to look at wounds that they've been carrying, all that time. And it's so beautiful. And men dealing with circumcision trauma, which is Elena says in her film that it's one of the places where sex and violence first meets. And it's such a strong experience for a baby to have that kind of very primal experience of violence around their genitalia, which they then later kind of put together with love, so it all gets very complex. So we do work with love a lot, and the release of oxytocin.
Oh, beautiful.
Oxytocin being commonly known as the hormone of love, and it's released in large amounts in the work that I do, and it's very beautiful. In-person workshops, we use a lot of touch, and combined with really deep processes, it just enables people to really experience a physical, in the body expression of love, and creates like a template to be cultivated.
I get a sense of that from hearing you talk about your work today, that it's very much about, I know if I go and sit a meditation course, that what tends to happen is all my cerebral stuff gets really, because you do the Vipassana practice where you go through the body sensation, so it becomes, what's in my head becomes really embodied, and then it's like my wisdom that I know. And it sounds very similar to the work that you're doing, where you're taking that you're processing through the physical field.
It's a total melding of both approaches. you know, I mean, and it's all different too. Some people really enjoy to understand how it's all working, and other people don't need to know at all. And, you know, I asked them what brought them to the workshop, and it's like a picture.
Yeah.
You know, so, and when that's happening, I just imagine that it's, you know, that time has come, and
that makes
you know,
marketing tricky,
something
right?
else going on. We call it the birthing field.
Yeah.
Yeah, marketing and me, you know.
It was the picture.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hear about how anyone could work with you, like what your latest up and coming thing is. We'll just do another round before we go. Leah, I know just before we came on, you mentioned a paid workshop that you were running, but I mean, feel free to talk about anything. I'm interested in that. I hope that's what you're going to talk.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. So because it's coming through the business store on that perspective, next week on Thursday, I am going to be running a leveraged business planning workshop. And what that's actually about, I'm not talking about sitting on a deck chair and watching the money roll in, although, you know, that's possible too. What I'm actually talking about is leveraging your time and your energy. So, and from an energetic perspective, and in particular, with the marketing aspect, you know, understanding who you're actually calling in from that perspective is a huge piece in energy work that is that perspective, right? Because it's all about vibration. So really what I'm teaching next week is about using your vibration in your business from a planning perspective. So in 90 minutes, the idea is that by the end of the session, you will have developed your business plan for 2017.
That
right?
is
So
very appealing, I have to say.
Yeah, before Christmas, you'll be set and you'll be ready to go and you'll be having your key milestones. And I think it's important to do it from that perspective so that you've got an attitude to head towards. It's not about the end outcomes, but you need to know which direction that you're moving forward in so that you can see the signposts as they come up for you. So really that's what the session's about. It's $39 Australian, including GST. Goes for 90 minutes and you get the recording then too. So if there's anything that you missed or you want to redo it every quarter, then absolutely you have the ability to be able to do that. I've just finished a round of free webinars and they're more so about using your vibration in business in general. Workshops about planning specifically. And there's other ones also about using your vibration in your life as a life tool. And then also understanding your intuition and understanding, you know, as we were saying, when you have marketing and some people come through a picture, some people come through what you've written, some people come through something they've heard you say, you know, each one of these are intuitive channels. So each one of those are methods to address in that process. And so there's a free webinar also on, well, understand what your intuitive type is because that's who you're actually calling in. Whatever your main intuitive type is who you're. So just having some awareness around that. And so that's available from my online platform as free webinar set too.
Cool. And I guess you could drop me the link and I'll put it in the notes with the video. That'd be amazing.
Sure can. Thank you.
Cool. Pleasure. Stephanie, how could someone work with you? What's happening?
All right. So what have I got at the moment? Well, there's kind of three things I'm starting with. The first one is a free present reflection session. So it's just a quick 10-minute overview of looking at where you are at this present point and maybe some coaching around that as well. So where you are intuitively or psychically, whatever you want to say. The next thing is I have 50% off all services until the 12th of December. So as I said, the two main services I'm offering are one-to-one sessions. So psychic readings, so you can get 15 minutes, 30 minutes or an hour. And then the spiritual coaching as well. So at the moment, I'm just offering one-to-one sessions. I guess sooner or later there's going to be packages if people are interested. And then the third thing, that's pretty much it. So the third thing is I have another advertisement you may have seen starting from $15. So that's your 15-minute psychic readings.
Cool. Good on you, Stephanie. I hope that it goes kaboom. I think it's gorgeous. It's good.
I have big plans. It's just the start.
Yeah.
But no, we'll just start here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Can I just say, Leah? Could I just say to you, I can see your aura, and it's ridiculous. I'm not doing it on purpose, man, but I'm just saying that. Okay.
She's off the wazoo,
Yeah.
isn't she, that Leah?
Thanks, Tiffany. I spend a lot of time cultivating my own energy, so it's really nice, actually. It's a nice compliment. Thanks.
Very positive. It's good.
Only on a Berta blab would we have aura complimenting. I love that. I'm a bit teary, actually. And Nicole, what have you got coming up for people to join in on?
Well, I'm just finished sort of taking registrations for my latest online course, which runs through till mid-December.
Yep.
And I'm yet to put up the next round, to be honest, but it's going to be March.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I've got a bunch of dates for next year for live workshops. And
So people could just find you on Facebook.
my preference is live.
Or sign up for an email so they can keep in touch with you or something like that.
Yeah. So Birth Into Being Australia is my Facebook page.
That's
and
it.
my site is birthintobeing.com.au. Yay.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, women. That's I'm feeling very happy right now that I got to share this time with you. I really appreciate it. And I'm just going to say goodbye now, and people will find me. You'll find me. If you found this, you're going to find me. Just follow down the rabbit hole. Here's Jade, our little stalker. Love a stalker. I'm sorry we missed you. Hopefully next time.
Thanks for having me on, Natasha, too.
Pleasure.
It was lovely to meet you ladies as well in person, because I've seen you around. So, yeah, it was really great. Thank you.
You too.
Pleasure. We'll see you soon. I'm going to
Lovely to meet you all.